Hey, welcome to Web Bros Review. My name is Dan. You ever look at PDF Element and wonder what is the difference between the Pro and the Standard? We're going to define each and every difference line by line so you know how to make a better informed purchase. Let's have a look at the differences between the different kind of purchase options we have from PDF Element. We see here we're looking right directly at the web page, and we're going to march through each and every one of these different categories and define them for you so you know exactly what the differences are between the two. First, it says OCR there, or that optical character recognition. This is very, very key. This is the ability for your device to scan individual letters and characters in the document. If you can't have this function, everything gets either recognized by blocking or different shapes, but it can't actually recognize individual type. So you can't edit it, you can't highlight it. You might be able to highlight it in general shapes of, smearing over the top, but you can't pick letter by letter. Scan paper into editable PDFs is the ability to use your phone or a separate scanner to take pictures of be it receipts or documents and make that into an editable PDF. Compress and optimize documents is all about the size of storage you have on your device, as well as being able to share those across devices via email or otherwise. To be able to create and edit form fields. Forms are simply what they sound like. A form like you might fill out a job application online, or a menu, or something where you have a drop down with either options or you fill things in. This is something you create so that even though you have the editable software, the PDF element, you can create a form that has spaces to be filled out by someone else who is receiving your PDF. To extract data and PDF from PDF forms is simply the inverse, that you're able to draw that information into charts or graphs or Excel spreadsheets, etc. To add Bates numbering, this one I never actually heard of. It's kind of unique. It has to do with a term that is used mostly in law and the medical field. Bates numbering is a way of numbering pages. It's a 4-digit indexing method that if you've never heard of before, you're probably never going to use unless you wildly shift career fields. But that's what that's all about. Moving on down, to save PDF as a flattened copy. Now, a PDF, or a portable document format, is one of the easiest formats to print from because it's so standardized. But when you start adding little elements that might shift or change or have nuance to them, which are pretty fun, that can mess up your printing function. So this gives you the ability to flatten it, i.e. make that ready for printing for best printing success. And moving down to archive with PDF/A formats. This is one where it archives not only the material, but also the source fonts with your PDF. So that if, let's say, it was all done in a certain font, I don't know the name of many fonts, I mean Arial everyone has, but if it was done in Arial and you want to save it in this format, archive it, it makes it smaller, but also stores that font within the information. So that if you open it up on a computer years later, where somehow the Arial font is gone, and I wish I had a better name for one, but let's go with that, you would be able to still edit your PDF as long as you still had a PDF element tool to do it with. And lastly is add digital signature. And this one you're probably quite familiar with because they're pretty ubiquitous. It's just a means of adding your signature to paperwork that has a legally binding nature to it. And everything else after that, you'll see as we scroll down, is matched. So that is the last one that is missing from the cheaper plan. Now looking at these plans here real quick, the standard is $69, the Pro PDF element is $79. So for $10 more, you're getting a tremendous amount of functionality. Frankly, I think it's one of those buying situations where they try to make it so obvious everyone's going to pick. One thing that doesn't jump off the page as quickly though is that there's different kinds of plans. The yearly and quarterly, this breaks it down different proration, but there's also a perpetual license where you can buy for $129 or for $79, you can buy this and not have to renew it every year. Frankly, if you're going to be using this with any regularity, and PDFs have been around for a very long time, I think the perpetual license does make a lot more sense. You can pick that from any of the links below, as I do have a paid link. I appreciate you using it to help support the channel, and I think PDF Element is a great way to go from Wondershare if you'd like to be making adjustments to your PDFs, and I hope that you choose it. Thanks. We'll see you in the next videos.